I've just done that stupid thing where you press the button on the iPad and it takes a picture instead of doing a video. Um, I've just been watching a piece on BBC News about OfGem and the price cap for energy and all of that caper. And they've had people who are well-meaning around the table to try and solve it, and telling you all about it and answering. It's BBC Your Questions Answered or something. So I was looking at them and they're talking about France has only let it go up by 4%. But watchdog, our watchdog, right, is unfortunately having to double and triple the cap. I don't know how you call it a cap when it just floats on the top like a piece of wood on water. It just floats. It's not a cap. It's an indicator. I don't know. It's like a fuel gauge. People tap them to in the wish that there was more fuel, but tapping the gauge doesn't fix the fuel shortage. Your engine still cuts out. Anyway, so how can we possibly fix this problem, right? The bills are projected to be 3,500. We all know that's a lie. We all know it's going to head towards 5 grand, maybe all but 5 grand. And remember, that's this year when it started off cheap. This year when it started off cheap, it will reach 4 grand. It could reach 5. Imagine what kind of a year we're going to have next year when it starts at 5 grand. And you might say, well, surely it won't go mad. It's already gone mad. I mean, and some people are out there thinking that 8 million people have got help with their energy bills. First, it's minuscule the amount of help. Second, help with your energy bill is a misnomer, because what actually happens is the money goes in that person's pot of money. So what everybody's doing, you can't change your energy bill very much. Doesn't matter how much you try. They've got a standing charge for start that's 25 to 30 a month. No matter what you do, you're stuck with that. Just for having the pipe attached. That pipe was attached for me back in 1972. I didn't even own this house then. 1972, that pipe was attached. What's the ongoing cost to the... Right, don't even go there. It's crazy time because there's no sense in it at all. They're saying it's basically because if there's a damage in future occurs, a leak, then they'll come out and fix it. Right. Okay, so the watchdog. Bear in mind this watchdog has allowed under their watch. Now they'll say they can't do anything about this, which makes them they're admitting they're pointless. So the watchdog is limiting it to 3 to 5 times as much as the annual bill was before the problem started. The watchdog is fine apparently until there's a problem, then it's completely powerless. Okay, so we can discard the watchdog. I think we've agreed on that. This watchdog is all wrong, but I want to compare them with somebody. There's a cartel that looks out for its own interests, and that cartel is called OPEC, and they are representing the oil industry. Now, that tends to also mean the gas creation industry or gas production industry, because they tend to be the same companies. But OPEC represents those companies, and it's a cartel. But the price of our petrol has only gone up by 50 to 70%. Right, overnight they've completely destroyed the idea of an electric vehicle, because nobody would be stupid enough now, unless you have lots of extra money. You wouldn't buy an electric vehicle now unless you'd already bought these solar panels or a wind turbine to charge it up with. You'd be nuts. So the oil cartel OPEC has controlled its prices massively better and with much more restraint than the so-called watchdog. Okay, OfGem is the watchdog in the UK. Now, this must be a really intractable problem, right? The watchdog can't get the prices down. Surely it's a really intractable problem. I'm going to solve the energy price problem in a couple of minutes with pen and a piece of A4 paper and a placemat, and that's just to lean on. In fact, I've got 2 sheets of A4 paper, but I'm only going to use the top one. This is just for leaning on. Okay, so we have the oil and we have the gas. Okay, oil and gas. Imagine they're in the ground. I'm just going to bring them up to the one place. Oil and gas, right? That's the production side. That's the drilling in the North Sea or wherever it is you do it. Fracking, God help you, if you don't mind an earthquake or two. And then where does that go? Well, that goes from them to the next node. I mean, there's refineries and stuff, but that goes to the commodity markets. The oil and gas market, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that was under the sea, the oil and gas, and that's the production company. It goes to the commodity markets, and this point here is where the price increase happens, right? Okay, and then it goes to the energy suppliers. So that's the gas company you deal with, or the electricity company you deal with, right? Energy suppliers. Sorry, I don't do this very often. And then they give it to I'm going to simplify it. They go to punters, the customers, right? That's us. Okay. So at the moment, OfGem, I'm just going to put OfGem in. OfG, I'm going to call it OfGem. Yep. At the moment, OfGem intercepts there between the energy suppliers and the punter, and it stops any massive price peak there. France is able to control it because theirs intervenes here. Their government intervenes here and says 4%. That's it. Don't start. Okay. So here's me going to solve the intractable problem with a piece of A4 paper and a pen. Instead of OfGem intervening over here, which is after the inflation point, which is the commodity markets bit. Okay, either the government, it will be the government has to do it first. Excuse, that's my family calling me. OfGem just needs to be there. Right? OfGem needs to be there instead of there. Okay? Alright, that's all there is to it. OfGem needs to intervene earlier in the supply chain. That's my consultancy over. £5,000 fee. Right? I mean, what's the WTF question mark? Not complicated. And our government, because we make all our own gas, our government in the UK could just say tomorrow, any gas or oil drilled or pulled out of UK territory, we have a pricing structure for, and you're not going to take it to the international commodity markets and boost the price by like 500%. This apparently intractable problem is not intractable. It's straightforward in principle to deal with. The intractable part of it is it's ideologically distasteful to the Tory party that are presently in power in the UK. The Tories want to believe that free market works. We are finding that especially when people have had no wage increase for 12 years, in fact 14, because after the 2008 crash, I assure you, 2007, 2008, nobody had a decent wage increase in that 2 years before the Tories got in. 14 years of virtually no wage increases. The Tories have made us susceptible to this exact problem. Well done. So that's it. Not intractable, Not intractable at all. Extremely easy. Could not be easier. Just move the point where OfGem intervene. Thank you for watching and listening.